Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another edition of our weekly real estate backstory. My name is Alan Richard. I'm the managing broker here at Maxwell Realty and Realtor Partners.
My name's Ming Richardson, the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
And we do this every Monday morning when we kind of start off your week with the comings, the goings, the happenings in the real estate market here in the Atlanta area. So we kind of want to jump into something that we're seeing kind of becoming more of an issue right now. And a lot of our sellers are not wanting to make certain repairs. And it's really hurting them both in terms of saleability, timing, and price. So we want to kind of go over like 10 issues that we really want to make sure that you're stressing to your sellers that these are important issues that will hurt their either it's going to hurt them on timing, it's going to hurt them on price for sure, and those kind of things. So first one out there is the four-letter word of real estate: mold. Mold is a big deal.
And especially with the wet weather that we are having currently, a lot of your area that would normally not have any mold are now
Yeah,
surfacing.
but just water damage in general, any kind of
Hmm.
water damage, you see water damage, you see water spots, that's money, right? Like that, like at that point, the buyer's going to be taking money off for that. Faulty smoke detectors. If you walk in and the house goes beep beep, or they're not there, kind of thing, it's
Right.
definitely a big negative out there. Plumbing and electrical issues. Those are really large deals to buyers today. This is not the market where everyone's going to fight over your property as is. This is we've got to make sure that we're addressing
Well,
these
if
kind
you
of
look
things.
at it, what your house is worth prior pandemic versus now, they're paying a really good premium dollar for your property,
Yep.
and therefore they don't have any more additional money to come with repairs.
Yep. Anytime that we have structural or foundation issues, cracks in the brick, any kind of issues on crawl spaces or subfloors, always a big deal on there. Then roof, roof is one of those
Hmm.
where, for a lot of our sellers, they're like, well, it's not leaking from me. Well, the seller's getting ready to move. Are they
Correct.
that concerned about the life of the roof? The buyer
No.
is, that's going to be a big deal for that buyer. And then are all appliances working? Like sometimes like, oh, well, it works for me. Yeah, those two burners don't work, but it doesn't matter.
And you
That
guys,
matters.
we live in Georgia. HVAC matters, y'all. It's hot. It's going to be a hot
Yeah.
season this summer. And so please make sure at least have someone look at it
Yep.
and maintain it so you get a clean bill of health for your HVAC.
Yep. We want to change over and talk a little bit about business. And I want to talk about an interesting study that's come out.
Hmm.
It's actually over in Europe. They had 61 different organizations that took part in a study of a 4-day work week. And that may seem odd for me to bring this up for real estate, but the difference is that what they found out is that during 4 days, people tend to be a lot more productive than they would be if they had 5 days to do it in. They found that they're actually doing more work in 4 days than they were doing in 5 days. And you say, well, how can that be? And then when you really look at for so many real estate professionals, we work at home. We don't really have a lot of accountability. We don't have a quote unquote boss. And so if I have all day to do a task, how long is that going to take me?
All day.
All day, right? How about if I've got an hour to do a task? I get it done in an hour. Like if you're going on vacation, what do you do in the couple of days before you leave to vacation? You're a whirlwind of activity, things going on, stuff happening. And so what we want to kind of encourage you is that well, yeah, I'm like I'm totally fine with you doing a 4-day work week as long as you can get your stuff done. That doesn't mean
Correct.
that I don't get stuff done. It means I'm being more productive when we go to work. One challenge that we see for so many real estate professionals is because they don't have I can do this
Schedules.
anytime. They don't have a schedule,
Hmm.
they don't have a routine kind of thing. I can do this whenever. And so in turn, we tend to work a lot, but it's a lot of times it's not the best work. It's not it's sometimes it's busy work and things like that. And we'll say that we're on social media. We'll spend 4 hours on Facebook and not talk to a single client, but we'll watch lots of videos of cats with funny hats and things.
Just
So,
kidding.
but like seriously, take that into account that you really can. How much work can you really get done? How productive are you being when you're at quote unquote work? And
And
so,
actually producing and seeing
yep,
results. So this is not always true for all industry, but for most industry that are task oriented,
Yeah.
it's a good option.
Yeah. I mean, for those 54 companies confirmed that they're still doing the policy after a year. 55% say it's very positive. 45% say it's positive. So, like, nobody has neutral
And
or negative feelings
this is
about it.
in Europe,
Yeah, but
so
still,
in
it's still
UK.
people. People are people.
Well, I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
cultural differences sometimes, and
yeah.
in the community, it makes a difference.
All right, we want to share with you really some really cool information. So, the National Association of Realtors has decided to make it a member benefit for a limited time that all realtors can get their ABR, their accredited buyer representative designation, for
Y'all
free,
take advantage of
no
that.
cost. Okay, so there's no cost for the ABR course. I am really excited about this. There's a lot of folks who, like this is a great way to provide value. This helps you really grow and become a better
It,
professional kind of
in
thing.
your business,
It
yes.
really is. And so they have a ton of virtual classes. They have some in person classes. They even have an online self paced class. All of these, no cost. Now, once you go through and take the course itself, again, you must be a member of NAR or GAR, that kind of stuff. You have to complete the course. You have to have at least one elective course, finalize at least one buyer transaction. Then you submit your application, and now you can use the ABR certification on your business cards, your website, those kind of things. And it's really, really good stuff. I mean, we've been ABRs for a long time, or we took the course, I don't know, a long time
A long
ago.
time
Yeah,
ago.
but like we're even gonna refresh it ourselves. So please look into this and take advantage of this. This will not stay free. Normally it's like 300 something bucks kind of thing. So take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
All right, Atlanta is ranked number 5 as the best state capital to live. Number 5 in the nation, which means we're better than the other 45 kind of thing. So it's actually a pretty good thing. It's ranked on affordability, economic well-being, education, quality of life, that kind of stuff. So, hey, it's a good place to be in the Atlanta market. And that counts for the whole
Atlanta.
Atlanta. All right. Now, the other good news is that, when it comes to the top 10 states for millennial migration, where do most millennials move to? Georgia comes in at number 2, which is actually really, really good. That's a great place for us to be. More millennials are moving to Texas. And after that, number 2 is Georgia in here. And so Georgia grew 36,000 more millennials than it lost in the last couple of years,
So
kind of
that's a
thing.
net gain.
So that's a really good place for us to be. Now the whole Southeast does pretty good, but I like being in, seeing that kind of go on. Now interest rates,
Whew.
interest rates have not been our friend again.
No,
So they inched up again. Not a huge increase. I mean, 4/100ths of a percent, but still we're wanting to see it move the other direction. So we need some relief there. We really need the Fed to stop talking it down a good bit. Now, the good news here is that Morningstar, and so Morningstar is this big lender platform kind of thing. They track a lot of
hmm
mortgages, mortgage companies, that kind of stuff. And so they are completely, there's a lot of people out on Wall Street, that kind of stuff, that are talking about rates being higher for longer. Morningstar is not going that way. They're like, look, we're looking at this at the interest rates continuing to steadily decrease, kind of moving forward. And we know that as soon as the Fed lightens up, we're going to see a lot of relief on that. But currently, we're fighting that a little bit. And that in turn is going off and it's causing our consumer confidence to fall. So and the reason this is a big deal, and we always see a pretty close correlation to consumer confidence and the activity levels that we're seeing in our market.
absolutely.
And so when people start feeling bad about the economy, still people start feeling bad about overall
Well,
consumer confidence.
when affordability is an issue, it does become a I can't get it done. I'm unable to do it. So, talk to your client because sometimes there are DPA programs and there are other
Mm-hmm.
avenues that you can kind of gear your buyer toward to where they're able to afford it in the next few
Yep.
months.
Now, the big thing about consumer confidence is that we do feel that affects people's decisions, but really what they have to look at is what's going on with property value appreciation. Why should I buy? this is why. If you look at, in the Atlanta area, 2020, we had 9% property value appreciation, 21% in 21, 10% in
Crazy.
22, down to 6.3 in 2023. We're probably going to be somewhere in the 5 to 6% range this year. For the last 4 years, properties have appreciated about 55%. Now, that's not normal. Normally, it's going to be closer to 20, 22%, something like that over a 4-year span. But like that's the whole game. Either like to rent,
It's 100%
it's 100%
interest.
interest rates. Yeah, exactly, kind of thing. So we've got to make sure that we are keeping people focused on what's really important. Wealth comes from home ownership.
And I know some
Yep.
buyers are discouraged, but at the same time, if you can just give them a different perspective, and this is
Yeah.
not just about you making a transaction, but in really creating wealth and home ownership.
Yeah. Because the other thing we want to share with you is the total worth of all U.S. real estate,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can see that all real estate in the United States continues to appreciate in value, and it has for forever, right? There's always going to be some dips and ups and downs and lags here and there long term, but like overall, you look at it, it's really, really strong.
Absolutely.
Now, what's going on with cash buyers? So our cash buyers are trending higher. Right now, about 32% of our transactions are going towards cash buyers. But everyone thinks that just means pure investors. And that's
It's
really
not.
not the case. Right now, a matter of fact, there's a new study and it shows that, for primary residences, almost 20% of people's primary residence are being bought with all cash. Those aren't investors. Those are just regular old folks. And primarily baby boomers, because they've got a lot of equity. They sell, they can a lot of times sell, they may not have a mortgage at all. And so they don't care what interest rates are.
Correct.
Vacation buyers, over like 60% of vacation buyers almost are buying all cash properties. And so they've got deep pockets and they have the ability to do that. Our investors, everyone thinks investors are all buying with cash, but only 40% of investors are buying with
They're
cash.
doing a lot of hard money and a lot of
Yeah.
creative accounting and some back
Creative
end.
financing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not all cash buyer are cash buyer and investor part.
Yeah, so a lot of people think all investors are cash buyers. No, only about 40% are cash buyers. So when you hear the word cash buyers, it's not always bad, right? There's nothing wrong with that at
Just make
all.
sure you understand what cash buyer really stands for,
Yeah.
because sometimes you have a wraparound. I actually saw some couple of wraparound recently, but it was very predatory. So you
Yeah.
guys make sure if you see contracts such as that, have your broker review it and explain that to you.
Yeah. Now, we want to kind of talk a little bit morbid, if that makes any sense. And so there's been kind of talk waiting for, they're calling it the silver wave, waiting basically for boomers to die. And I know that sounds horrible, but that's kind of one thing that we're hearing out there. It's like, oh, well, housing supply is really going to get better as soon as the boomers die. That's first of all morbid, but like, what do those numbers really, really look like? And so, there is a new study which shows the annual decline in the number of baby boomer households in the U.S. by year, and you can see that. A lot of people think that boomers are like everybody's going to pass away now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case. Like this is something that like the boomers are going to be declining in numbers up through 2035, 2040 kind of thing is really where the boomer generation is going to kind of run all the way through in there.
And by then, you're millennials in their 40s, if not
Yeah.
higher.
And so you can see that, in 2023, we lost 300,000 boomer households kind of thing. And not, again, I'm not trying to be the morbid, but it really is. And so you can see kind of what's going on. But then when you look at it, not just by month, but like a cumulative total, how many boomer households would be created, as the boomers move, retire, that kind of thing? It's around 9 million.
Right, but if you look at that, but you also look at the millennial and the Gen Zs, they're coming up. So as far, even though the inventory is released by Boomer, it's still, you have a lot of demand on millennial
Well,
and Gen Z
but
as
you're exactly
well.
right. But the whole thing is that by 2035, we're talking about gaining 9 million additional households. The kicker here, folks, is that we currently sit at a deficit of 7,240,000 homes. So, like, we're currently at a deficit of 7 million homes. Yes, the boomers will be retiring, aging out, however you want to call it, that kind of
Contribute to the
thing.
market inventory, if you want to
Yep.
look at it.
But then that doesn't even come in. We're starting off with a deficit of 7 million. We can only build about 1.5 million homes a year. And the largest generation we have is all reaching first time home buyer age over the next 3-4 years.
Correct.
So like the whole supply versus demand thing, there's a lot of folks that have been talking about there's going to be a lot more demand, a lot more supply kind of thing coming from that from that boomer generation. I just don't see it really where it's happening because we're already so short right now. So as far as that goes. Now, one thing that the National Association of Home Builders came out and they said, hey, here we just did this big study. This is what buyers are really prioritizing. And so this is something that you're going to start seeing in the builder houses and that kind of thing. One thing that we kind of want to stress to you is this is not information just if you're building new. Like these are great selling features for any of your sellers. And so the number one thing, according to their survey, laundry rooms. Not laundry closets, that kind of stuff. But if you have a laundry room, it really does show off.
It does.
Patios, especially here in the South, it can be 1,000,000,000 degrees. We don't care. We just want to sit outside kind of thing.
Hopefully with covering.
Hopefully, yeah. But patios are a really big deal. Energy Star windows, exterior lighting, we're seeing that a lot more.
A lot in the construction.
This
it looks
one right
great.
here. Oh, yeah.
Well,
She loves her outside lighting kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of feature like I like my lights on my trees. So
yeah, ceiling fans, garage storage, front porches, like a lot of outside in kind of thing. So these are great things to be able to share with your sellers. And if you do have a listing, make sure that you're talking about these things in the proper descriptions, and you get great photos showing off these elements, because these are features that buyers want. It's a great thing to look at. So overall, our median sale price for the year is up about 5.5%, which we're really glad to see. It's modest, steady growth, right in line where we need to be. Pending sales, however, dipped a little bit. Right now, we're 8% under last year in pending sales. We keep wanting to see that number come up, and as we see interest rates mitigate, we will see that happen. Overall, active listings for homes are flat, meaning we don't have more inventory we had last year, but we're finally getting that point where we are starting to get up to a level where we're meeting with the active number of listings of homes. Doesn't mean great information, though, because we still need a lot more inventory. Now, one place where we are seeing inventory come in is townhouses. The builders are building a ton of townhouses. And you can see, as far as like overall starts, what are they starting more of anything out there?
It's townhouses.
Townhouses. Please, for my old school realtor friends, the townhouses today,
it's not the townhouses that you had.
It's not the townhouses that we had in 2006. We were here in the market in 2006 when the market crashed. 2007, that all those townhomes got gobbled up by investors, and they became not the greatest places necessary to live. It became a lot of rentals and that kind of thing.
A lot of HOA was failing too. So during that period, but that's not the case. If you look at those homes or townhomes that were bought during that period, you'll see a lot of improvement in that area.
Well, and for the townhouses today, our millennial buyers, when we were first starting off, it was that 3-1 ranch, right? We only had one bathroom, whole house, and then then it moved up to the 3-2 ranch, and then so where are those 3-2 ranches today for our first time buyers, for millennial buyers? They're not there. Plus, our millennial buyers, they don't want big yards. They don't want to live out in the suburbs. They want to live in more urban areas, closer to things. They don't want a lot of maintenance. Well, they want
some of the amenities being taken care of, or a very little bit of maintenance.
Yeah, and so townhouse really does fit that bill. So for your first time buyers, don't decide for your clients, I guess is what we're saying. We're seeing where the builders are building townhomes. They're more affordable than the single family detached kind of thing. And it could just be a good place for your folks to really be looking at right now. Inside our cities. Now, one thing that we've seen over the past several years, ever since COVID, was kind of a shift to move people away from the cities. And even some cities up until recently have still had like COVID restrictions and things like that. Well, the cities have suddenly realized, oh my goodness, everyone moved away, and now all my downtown businesses
Are
are,
suffering.
yeah. And so there is a huge push going on in Atlanta as well as a lot of major cities to kind of bring people back. And so we're seeing where, like, condos, downtown properties are becoming,
Office space.
well, I mean, there is a lot of office conversions, but we don't have as many in Atlanta. But I guess what we're saying is like there was this big shift away from downtown, and now the downtowns are really starting to be a lot more pro business, a lot more pro home ownership down there, that kind of stuff, a lot more condos. So be looking to see a lot more trends kind of going on there, and it's something that, like, the cities are wanting more people back, and so we're just seeing a trend for that. Overall rents. Now you'll notice it says rents are trending up, and they are, but this is seasonal, right? Rent growth is,
Correct.
and so, like, you can see, normally this time of year rents start moving up until the summer. Same thing kind of happens with home prices, right? You know what I mean, that same spring buyers market is the same thing that affects prices in rentals. So we are seeing rental rates increase right now. That's not all bad because I'd much rather they bought a home out there.
Well, this kind of take a little bit of opportunity from the renter to really save for
Yep.
buying a house. So do encourage them.
Yep. Now, don't forget, get your Max One Market swag. Anything that has Max One, you can get that at max1market.com. This week on CE, so we have on Tuesday, on Tuesday, March 5th, we have estates, divorces, investors who can sign a contract. It's going to be over in our Noonan office. On Wednesday, we have an appraiser's guide to CMA. That's going to be in our McDonough office. On Thursday, we have our boot camp. This is a new agent boot camp. It's a 6-hour all day CE. Ming and I will be teaching that together over there, as well as we'll have Sharon with us. And
And Friday,
then on Friday, we have Contracts 101. This is our basics contracts class. If you are anything new, even if you're not new,
well,
this
if
is
you
a,
haven't practiced for a while and you want to know what the new guard form is saying, and also if you're a new agent,
yeah,
this would be a great class for you to come in because a lot of times there's not a whole lot of explanation why the contract are written the way it's written, but this will give you a little more insight on why you write the contract the way you do.
yeah. Now, how we teach this class, this is a situational class or a scenario class, I guess. We throw out, this is our buyer scenario, and then we fill out a buyer brokerage agreement. Then this is our purchase scenario, and then we fill out the car purchase and sale, and this is our listing scenario, and then we fill out the listing agreement. And so this is all about being real world, the way that you really fill out contracts, how to do the whole 9 yards. If you don't have this kind of information, this is crucial
Correct.
to being successful. Okay. So we hope that you guys have a great week. If we can be of any kind of service to you, please call, text, smoke signals. We'll answer it all. Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Have
All
a
right.
happy Monday.
Bye bye.